सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। भगवद गीता 9th chapter 25th verse. Sri Krishna is now talking about his all-pervasiveness, how he is pervading the entire universe. Now he is talking about the fact that every offering reaches him. He says, Yanti deva vrata devan, pitrin yanti pitrivrataha, bhutani yanti bhutejya, yanti madhyajinopi mam. Deva vrataha, those who worship different gods, devan yanti, they go to the gods. Pitrivrataha, those who worship different pitris or ancestors, they go to pitrin yanti. Yanti means go to. They go to the ancestors. Bhutejyaha, bhuta ijyaha means those who worship the bhutas. That means beings that are lower to the devas but higher than human beings. They are bhutas. So they reach bhutas. Bhutani yanti. They go and attain bhutas. Madhyajinah. Madhyajinah means those who mat yajinah, those who worship me. Api mam yanti. They attain me. So whoever worships whichever person attains to that person. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami prayatatmanah. This is a shloka which gives lot of hope to the devotee. Why it gives hope? Because to worship God, you don't need to have enough wealth, much wealth, or you don't need to have much paraphernalia of devotion. Whatever is given with a devout mind and pure mind, that reaches God. So this is a great assurance, great guarantee, warranty. Nowadays, we are very particular about money back guarantee or warranty. Buy something online and they should be accepting it if you are not satisfied with the product within 30 days or something. So Sri Krishna says, don't worry, I am giving you this warranty or guarantee that patram pushpam, yaha, whoever, also you don't need to belong to a particular station in life. You don't need to belong to a particular community. You can be anyone. And if you offer your worship to the Lord with a devout and pure mind, that offering reaches Lord. So yaha, whoever may to me, bhaktya with devotion, patram means leaf, pushpam a flower, phalam a fruit, toyam water, prayachati offers, aham I prayata atmanah. Atmana here means mind. Prayata means that which has been restrained or controlled. That means a pure mind. Bhakti upahritam, the upahara gift, which has been gifted with bhakti, devotion, that ashnami, accept. Tat, that I accept. So God is giving us this assurance that I accept whatever is given with a devout mind and a pure mind. Devout gift with a pure mind. So we have many instances in the itihasas, in the smritis, many instances we have. In the Ramayana we see the great devotee of Lord Sri Ramachandra, Shabari. So she is tasting the berries. Berries, bear. She is tasting the berries and then she is giving it to Sri Rama and Sri Rama is eating. So she is tasting to see whether they are bitter or sweet and she is giving. In Tamil Nadu, we know the legend or the story of Andal. Her father was a great devotee and of Vishnu, and her father used to ask her as a young girl to make a garland of flowers for Vishnu. And what she used to do, she used to wear this garland and see whether it is good looking on her, whether it suits her. And then when it was very nice, then she will give that garland to her father. Her father used to offer it to Lord Vishnu. One day he saw that there is a hair in that garland. Then he got upset. How can hair come? Then he inquired, what did you do? Then she said, I do what I did every day. What do you do every day? I wear this garland and stand in front of the mirror, see if it is okay. Then I offer. Then he said, he became very angry. How can you wear something which you are going to offer to the Lord? Because we don't want it to be uchishta. Uchishta means defiled. So you eat something you cannot offer. It should be, even you should not taste it, because then it will become uchishta. You should offer without tasting. So how do you do that? How did you do that? And he started scolding. She felt very bad. And so Vishnu told her father that, you see, you are mistaken. I will not wear any garland which is not first worn by Andal. First she should check whether it is okay, then only I will wear. So devotion, pure devotion is what is necessary. All other paraphernalia is not necessary. Devotion. With devotion, even if you give water, that God will accept. Devotion and pure mind. Our problem is we don't have devotion, we don't have pure mind. What is a pure mind? What is purity? So people think purity means washing one's clothes and bathing, taking shower, using deodorant, and also all that thing, all these bathing soap, bath soap, then shower gel, all this. This is not purity. What is purity? Purity is alignment of thought, word and action. What you think, you say. What you say, you do. That is purity. Purity is thinking that you are not the mind and the body, knowing that you are not the mind and the body. Constantly thinking you are the body makes you impure. Because the body is impure. So that is why if you think you are the body, you will become impure. Because the body is impure. Body is full of filth. No matter how much cosmetics you apply, how much paint you put, the body is full of filth. You go to so many beauty parlors, nothing will happen. Body is full of filth. It has got all the waste material, blood, muscles, etc. Everything full of filth. So that is not purity. Body cannot become pure. Body can never be pure. So we are not the body. That we have to understand. That is purity. Purity is alignment of thought, word and deed. Sri Ramakrishna in Bengali he says, Mon Mukh Ek Koro. Means align your mon, mind, and mukh, your speech. You align. So whatever you think, that is what you speak. You don't speak something which you don't believe in. So alignment of speech and thought and also action. Kathani Karani in Hindi it is said. So whatever you do and whatever you say should tally. That is purity. So a person who is pure in mind and who has a devoted heart offers with devotion something, whatever that thing is, Sri Krishna says, I accept. I accept. Now there was this Sudama. Sudama was in a very bad position. His house had nothing. He was living in a very poor condition. And then his wife says, don't you have any friends who will help you? Then you went to school, and when you went to school, Gurukula, there was your friend Vasudeva, Sri Krishna. Now he is a great person. Why don't you go and ask him? So Sudama does not like, Are, I will go to my friend and ask for help. Is this good? So, no, you just go. No, why should I go like that? Then the wife says, What is the use of my marrying you? I have not got any. Wives normally say like that, it seems. So, I have not got any happiness marrying you. I have not seen any, watched any movie, etc. Like that, something in that day, Sudama's wife also told, What is the use of marrying you? Then Sudama, at least to get rid of this kind of bickering, he told, Okay, let me go to Sri Krishna. Going and coming will take some days, and there also I will stay some time. At least from this botheration I will be away. So he goes. And he goes there, and what will he take as gift for Sri Krishna? There is nothing he can take. Sri Krishna is a great king. What will, of Dwaraka and all that. So what will he take? King of Mathura. So what will he take? He has nothing to take. So then he tells his wife, Give me something. So this, what is called poha in Hindi, this rice flake is taken. Chivda or poha. So that is taken. Flattened rice, this rice flake is taken, and he takes it, and he is keeping it in a small bundle. And then when he goes, he sees the big palace of Sri Krishna, and he is ashamed. How can he give this small thing to Sri Krishna? Is such a big. And Sri Krishna immediately says, Arey, my friend has come. So much of royal treatment is going on. He is made to sit in such a huge seat, and then people are serving him, giving him drinks and food and so many things. Then he is ashamed. How will I give this thing? And Sri Krishna is, of course, God. So he knows everything. He says, Oh, what have you brought for me? No, nothing. Arey, give, what have you brought? No, nothing. He is hiding this bundle. Then he said, Arey, what is that bundle? Bring. So he takes that bundle. And when he takes the bundle, he sees in that some bundle, very bad cloth. In that cloth, this rice flake is kept. Then she says, Oh, such a nice thing you have brought, and you are not giving me. You are hiding it from me. Then he takes and eats it like this. And it's, wow, what wonderful thing. So, why? Because bhaktya uparhatam. It has been offered with love. It has been offered with love. And it is offered with love and also prayatatmanah. It is offered with a pure heart, pure mind. So Sri Krishna takes like that. One. The moment he takes one mouthful, that's all. In Sudama's house, instead of a small hut, it becomes a multi-storied building, huge building. And so many people, and gold and silver, and now platinum. Platinum is costlier than gold. I don't think at that time it was there. But anyway, diamonds and so many things come, and then immediately it becomes a big thing. His wife, Sudama's wife, is seeing, suddenly as her clothes have changed, everything changed like that. Then Krishna takes another one mouth, a handful he takes. Then more things come in the house of Sudama. Immediately the thing changes. Then when he takes third mouth, and afterwards Lakshmi comes and she stops. Don't take more, because from here it will go. Our khazana will become exhausted. Our treasure will become exhausted. So don't take more. So like that. So then Sudama does not know. After Sudama then takes leave of his friend, and then he goes, because he could not ask for money, nothing. Then he knows, now again I will have to listen to my wife's nagging. She will bicker, what is the use of marrying you, etc. So he again returns and goes to his house. And when he goes to his house, he is unable to find his house, because there is that old house is not there. Then he says, where is my house? And he is roaming there. Where is my house? Some big building has come. So, some rich fellow has come, taken my house and land and everything. Now I have lost my children also, my wife also, everything. Then his wife comes. Oh, come, like that. And his children are also coming. Father, come. Then he is confused. How did they become like this? And so many people, such good dress. Then he remembers, I just went and met Sri Krishna, and I offered him whatever this such a petty thing I offered, And just by that, Sri Krishna made my whole life, he has changed. So that is what. Even if you offer something which has no value, water, of course, water now is very valuable, mineral water, very costly. At that time, water had no value. Now, water has got so much value, 20 rupees, 30 rupees per liter. So, at that time, no value. So, but bhakti upahritam, bhaktya upahritam, it has been given by with love, with devotion, prayatatmana, by a person whose mind is pure, whose mind is pure. So you give anything, you give a leaf, you give some flower, you give some fruit, or you give just water, that I accept. That I accept. When Sri Krishna says I accept, what does he accept? He accepts the devotion. Devotion. And so, what is Sri Krishna saying here? You see, what you have to have is only devotion, which does not need any money or any effort. It is very simple to perform. So many people will do this yoga, yaga, this yoga also, of course. Yoga, that yaga, this Chandi Homa. They will call so many priests, feed them, everything. Why are they doing that? Because they want their business to be successful. What is their business? Cheating others and fooling others and making money. That they want to be successful. So that is why they call so many people and do that. But Sri Krishna says, not necessary. All these things are not necessary. You just have devotion to me. So if you have devotion to me, you will not think about cheating others. You just have devotion to me. And having devotion to me, having faith in me is very simple. And if you have that, it will produce a result which will never get destroyed. Devotion to me, you will all reach me. Madhyajinaha. In the previous verse he has told, those who worship me, they reach me. If they reach me, then they have nothing to worry. If you reach the Lord, then you have nothing to worry. In this time of Corona, people will be afraid, oh, reaching Lord means going from this world. No, even when you are in this world, you can always surrender yourself to the Lord. If you do this surrender, Atma Samarpana, you surrender to the Lord, or in Advaita Vedantin, we surrender to the karmas. In the Manisha Panchakam, Shankaracharya says, Prarabdhaya samarpitam swavapuhu gururityesha manisha mama. The person who has surrendered oneself to prarabdha karma, let things happen as they will happen. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the prana, I am not the Vijnanamaya Kosha, I am not the Anandamaya Kosha. I am Satchitananda Atma. So that one person, one who has understood that, she or he is my Guru, Shankaracharya says. So, complete surrender to God. Complete surrender to God. Even a leaf does not move without the permission of God, without the will of God. Not permission, without the will of God. Everything moves with the will of God. Without the will of God, nothing happens in this universe. Even if we don't know this, this is what happens. Suppose you don't know that it is by the will of God everything happens, and you are saying it is by my will everything is happening, even then it is by God's will. So it is better to know this and surrender to God. Surrender to God. If we surrender to God, then we will be able to get mukti, moksha. We don't have to suffer in this world. We'll be always happy. Always happy. Even if we get something, we will be happy. Even if we don't get something, we will be happy. Even somebody is insulting you, you will be happy. If somebody is praising you also, you will be happy. You will be constantly in bliss. So how? By surrendering. Surrendering. And that surrender is what is taught by Sri Krishna in the next verse. He says, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yad juhoshi dadasi yat yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, yat, whatever karoshi you do, yat, whatever ashnasi you eat, yat, whatever juhoshi you offer in sacrifice. Juhoshi means offering in sacrifice. Swaha, like that, offering in sacrifice. Yat dadasi, whatever you give away. Yat tapasyasi, whatever you practice as tapasya. Tat madarpanam kurushva. That you offer to me. All of these things you offer to me. So whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, whatever you give away as donation, charity, whatever sadhana you do, whatever spiritual practices, austerity you do, all that you do as offering. So I am giving this talk on Bhagavad Gita, offering to God. I am sleeping, offering to God. I am waking up, offering to God. I am dreaming, offering to God. I am drinking water, offering to God. Whatever, not just doing things and offering to God. Not like that. Offering to God in the true sense. Not just like you do whatever you want and then say, I did not do to, I just offered to the God. Now somebody is drinking liquor, having alcohol and say, I did not drink, I offered to God. That will be hypocrisy. Most people are hypocrites. Swami Vivekananda says that in religious life, spiritual life, 85% people are hypocrites and 10% people are mad. So 95, only 5% are sincere people. Of that, 1 or 2 people may get. So in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says this, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tatvatah. So among thousands of human beings, some people try for perfection. Perfection means they try to attain God. Among those who try to attain God, try for mukti, only few people attain. Other people are hypocrites or they become mad. So if you come to spiritual life, there is a high probability that you will become mad. 10% chance. 85% chance is that you will become hypocrite. You will say, in Hindi there is a saying, Muh mein Ram Ram, bagal mein churi. So you will have Ram Ram in your mouth, you will say Ram Ram and you will carry a knife in your arms. So that kind of thing. So many people in Ram Ram, Sri Ramakrishna used to tell this story. There is a jewelry shop. A jewelry shop is there and one very simple person from a village enters that shop. So from inside, the shop salespeople are outside. From inside, the owner is asking, Keshava. So Shava means body, K means who. But together Keshava means one who has killed Keshi, Asura Keshi, that means Sri Krishna. So he is asking from inside, Keshava, that means who has come. But this villager is thinking, the owner is so devoted. He is asking Keshava, Keshava is telling. So the salesperson is telling Gopala. Go means, it means Indriyas, sense organs. It also means cows. Gopala means a cowherd, a person who takes care of cows. So that way also it means Sri Krishna. A person who has controlled one's sense organs also means Sri Krishna. So from Gopala means, that means he is a cowherd, does not have brain. Very simple person, that is the idea. But this person thinks, in the shop the owner is also devoted and the shopkeeper, the salesman also is devoted. He is also saying Gopala. So he says, Hara. From inside the owner says Hara. Hara means rob him. Hara means rob him. Hara also means Shiva. But he says Hara means rob him because he's a fool. So nicely you cheat him and rob him. And this person says Hari. That means we are already robbing. But Hari also means Vishnu, Sri Krishna. So this villager thinks, how devoted they are, only taking the name of Lord. But inside their thinking is something else. They are hypocrites. So most of the people in this world are hypocrites. They are saying, Swamiji, we like so much, etc., etc. But they were like, Baba, Swamiji, keep your lecture to your own place. We will not follow anything. We want to live in this world. Hypocrites. But that kind of surrender, it is no surrender. Surrender, truly surrender. Yat karoshi, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as sacrifice, whatever you do as sadhana. Everything Madarpanam Kurshva. You do all of that for me. This is Karma Yoga. Swamiji's Karma Yoga is this. Do everything with a spirit of sacrifice. If you do everything with a spirit of sacrifice, then God will take care about it. God will take care. That is why he quotes in Karma Yoga that story of Vyadha. Vyadha means a hunter, butcher. So he goes and hunts and then cuts that and then sells it. So this butcher became a knower of God. Butcher became a knower of God and gave this knowledge to so many people, including a householder woman. And a sannyasi goes there. Sannyasi was sitting under a tree and he was meditating. After many days of meditating, when he was meditating, one feather fell on his head, and so he opened his eyes and he saw the bird which did that, from which bird that feather had fallen, and then he looked at it and the bird was burned to ashes. So then he was, oh, now I have got a lot of power. Like that he got up and he went for alms, that is begging food, to the nearby village, and he was waiting in the house. He said, you give me bhiksha. And from inside a woman called and said, wait, I am now serving my parents. Once that is over, I will give you bhiksha. So the waiting time increased and increased. So this person, he thought, oh, she does not know my power. Just now I made chicken kurma. That is, he burnt the birds. No? So that I have done, tandoori I have done. And she does not know. And that is why she is asking me to wait. So from inside she said, did you think I am also a bird? Like that she said. In many languages there are different versions of this story. So in Tamil there is Kokkandru Nanetaya Konganava. Konganava means a person who is a wandering monk. So did you think I am a crane? Because he had burnt a crane. So did you think I am a crane? Like that woman said. When this he heard, he was surprised. How does this woman know what happened and what I am thinking? And so anyway, he was waiting. He was curious. Less for food and more now to curious to find out how did this woman know. Then when that woman came out, he asked her, okay, how did you know what I was thinking? So she said, you see, I also am advanced spiritually. So I also have a lot of spiritual attainments. I am also a spiritual practitioner. Oh, but what were you doing? I was serving my parents and this is my family responsibility. I am a grihini. I am a homemaker. I am a homemaker. So then she gave him bhiksha. Then he asked, how did you know all these things? My guru taught. Who is your guru? I will take you to him. And then she accompanies, goes to the bazaar. In the bazaar there is this butcher shop. And the butcher is selling meat. Everybody is waiting, long queue. Somebody is getting 1 kilo, 2 kilo like that. Maybe it is a holiday. So in house everybody will make meat. So then he is waiting. After that, then you surprised, this butcher will teach me now Vedanta. Then he is surprised. Then after waiting, butcher says, you see, I have devoted my whole life to learning this thing and practicing spirituality. This is my work. I do it selflessly. And so I have taught also to many people. They also do selflessly. So then he gives teachings about Vedanta. That is called Vyadha Gita. Vyadha means a hunter and butcher. So Vyadha Gita. Gita means song. So song of the butcher. You can translate like that. Song of the butcher. So the service should be done in a spirit of selfless surrender. Surrender means there will be no selfish interest. Madarpanam. If you do, then you will attain moksha. And if you do any work, if you have this idea that you are doing, then it will bind you. Even if it is a good work, it will bind you. You serve many people, give food to many people, charity to many people. But if you think, I am doing, and you put your photo in Facebook, in Instagram, in Twitter, everywhere, I gave food for 20 people like that. So that will not bring any good. It will only bind you more. So chains are chains, even if they are of gold or of iron. So that is why in the next verse Shri Krishna says, Shubha Shubha Falairevam Mokshyase Karma Bandhanaihi Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mam Upaishyasi. Evam, thus in this manner, Shubha Ashubha Falaihi, from good Shubha and Ashubha, from bad evil Falaihi, results. Karma Bandhanaihi, from the bandhana, bondage of karma actions, mokshyase, you will be freed. So you see, if you do something with the idea that I am doing, even though it is a good action, it will create bondage, it will create bandhana, it will bind you, even if it is a good action. And if it is a bad action also, it will bind you. So if you do like this, means if you offer everything to Lord, that means constantly thinking about Lord and then offer to Lord, then you will be freed from this bondage of the fruits of your good and bad actions. And sannyasa yoga yuktatma, vimukta hai, you will be liberated. And sannyasa yoga yuktatma, that means you will be yukta, you will be joined in the yoga of sannyasa, renunciation. Sannyasa means samyak nyasa, means complete giving up, complete tyaga, complete giving up. So you will be, your heart will be focused, your mind will be focused on the yoga of sannyasa. Mam upaishyasi, and you will attain to me. You will attain to me. So your mind will become pure because you are offering everything to me. You are offering everything to me, your mind will become pure. With your mind pure, then you will get moksha. Moksha means when you are, even when you are alive in this body, whatever you do, that will not bind you. So about Sthita Prajna, in the second chapter, Arjuna asks, how do they behave? And Shri Krishna replies. So there is one verse, Dukkheshu Anudvignamana. So there is some suffering, they are not disturbed, they are not perturbed. And Sukheshu Vigata Spriha. And they don't get attached to happiness. They don't get attached to happiness. In misery, they don't get disturbed. So somebody you go and tell, oh you fool, so that person is keeping quiet. So there is this incident with Buddha. There was a person called Anguli Mala. Why he got this name? Anguli means finger. So this person used to kill people and rob them. And whenever he used to kill, he will take one finger and keep it. And one mala he had put, one garland of fingers. So counting how many people he has. So that's why his name was Anguli Mala. So he came to Buddha. When he came to Buddha, Buddha is sitting still, silent. Usually people who see silent people like this, they get a lot of, they cannot bear it. How is this person silent? I am suffering in the world. That is why when a householder, when a person who is in the world sees a sannyasi, cannot bear. And this person is always happy. How can it be? So torture that person like that. So this Anguli Mal saw Buddha is very happy, always in bliss. So started scolding him, left and right scolding, you fool, like that, all scolding. He scolded. Then also Buddha is smiling like this. Then finally he was fed up and he said, I have scolded you, I have insulted you so much. Don't you understand? Why are you not doing anything? Why are you not reacting? Then Buddha smiled and said, see, if you come to me and give some present to me, okay, you present something to me, gift, you give some gift. And if I don't accept that gift, then what is the if I don't accept the gift, then whom does the gift belong to? Whom does the gift belong to? That gift belongs to, then he said, it belongs to me because you have not accepted. He said, yes. Now you insulted me, and if I don't accept those insults, whom does it belong to? It belongs to you. So like that, a person who is always surrendering everything to me, Sri Krishna says, that person is free from the bad actions, results of bad actions and good actions, and also is freed from the results of all actions, karma, and that person becomes the person becomes one with the yoga of renunciation and attains to me, means gets moksha. So even when that person is alive, that person is a jivan mukta, is liberated even in this life. So that person is a jivan mukta, and after death that person becomes me. That means upaishyasi, come to me. Me means God. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.